In custom car audio, we are always looking for new ways to add small design elements into a custom build. From laser etching acrylic to molding metal mesh to using gap techniques for perfect upholstery transitions, small techniques can sometimes make a big difference in the final appearance of a build. Now, I've frequently seen in the leatherworking world where someone will use a small metal stamp in order to add a small logo or design embellishment upon a piece of leather. Now, we do sometimes use leather in the custom car audio world, but we more frequently use this. This is upholstery vinyl. I wondered, can we do something similar with this common material that we frequently use? And can we do it with a tool that a lot of us in this industry now already own, rather than custom machining a metal stamp? Now here's the thing, I don't know for sure if we are, in fact, going to be able to do this. So this video has the potential to be a complete flop, but we're gonna try anyways, because I think it's important to understand the process that oftentimes goes into discovering or making use of a new technique like this. All of the unique techniques that we use in this industry have oftentimes started as just a small experiment. So hey, we've got to give it a shot. Hey everyone, if you're new here, welcome to Car Audio Fabrication. My name is Mark, and here on this channel, together we learn how to master car audio and how to design, build, and install our dream car audio system. Before we get into designing our 3D stamp, a special thanks to our show sponsor, New Concepts. If you are doing a car audio build, you are going to need power wire, power distribution blocks, fuse blocks, signal wire, and more, and they have it all. I've used them for well over 15 years now on my builds, and I've always found that their products are reliable and a great value. Now, one of my personal favorites is their Colossus Flex power wire. This stuff is so flexible, it's very easy to manage in an install, and it's also tinned oxygen-free copper, which makes it last for a long time, even in marine environments. Check them out for your next project at the links down in the video description, and a special thanks to them for making videos like this one possible. In order to design our stamp, we're going to be using Autodesk Fusion software, and I'm going to start with a sketch on the top origin plane here. We're going to keep things nice and simple, and we're just going to do a center rectangle. We'll click on the origin point here and drag out, and I want this to be 1.5 inches, and then hit tab, and 1.5 inches, hit enter. I want to soften up each of these corners here, so I'm going to apply a fillet, and we're going to click twice, and each of these is going to be 1/4 of an inch. Let's add in the other 4, or other 3 rather, for a total of 4, just like that. And this is going to be the outside of our stamp shape. Next, I want to add sort of a perimeter kind of trim ring around the logo that I'm going to add. So I'm going to do an offset feature. I'll click this outside curve, and we can see which direction we want to go here. In this case, I want to go inside. And I'm going to go in by a 32nd of an inch, hit enter. So that's going to be my offset, a 32nd of an inch from the outside. Now I want that trim ring going around the outside to be a 1/16 of an inch thick. So I'm going to do another offset off of that. We'll drag in 0.0625, that's 1/16 of an inch, hit enter. So that's our outer ring that we're going to extrude. Next up, I want to bring in my logo. In this case, I'm going to be using the logo for Car Audio Fabrication, so the CAF. I'll go up to insert, and there's multiple different file types that you could use. In my case, I have an SVG file, and I've selected it in my file browser here. You can see that it comes in quite large, so I'm just going to manually scale this down and move it into position just like so. I want to make sure that I get it nice and centered. You guys should know that there's a lot of different resources online that will allow you to convert a logo to an SVG, which then allows you to bring it into a software like this. But there's one more very critical detail here. Before I actually place this, I do want to flip it horizontally, and that's because I want the mirror image of our logo, because once we use it as a stamp to press into the vinyl, it's obviously going to be the opposite image. So I'm going to hit OK. We'll finish our sketch here, hide the origin, and now I can start extruding this 2-dimensional sketch into 3 dimensions. First, I want to make the actual back part of our stamp. So this is going to have literally every profile, and I'm going to drag down in this case, and I want to make this 1/8 of an inch thick. Now let's unhide our sketch here so that we can use the rest of the geometry. I'm going to do another extrude, and in this case, I'll select that outer trim ring and then the inside of my logo. We want this to go in this direction, and we are experimenting here, but I think a good starting point is about a 1/16 of an inch coming out of the stamp. So we'll enter that in, we'll hide our sketch, and here you can see what our stamp is going to look like. So from here, I can open the bodies and I can export this as a mesh. I can save it as a mesh, which is an STL file, and then we're going to be 3D printing this part, so I can bring it into the 3D printing program of our choice that corresponds with our 3D printer. We can slice it up and then we can print this. So cue the time lapse, here it is being printed. So here is our sample test piece fresh off the printer. Of course, again, it's mirrored. That way we will get the negative image when we stamp this into our upholstery vinyl. But the first thing I want to do is I kind of want to soften up some of these little bits that kind of show up on that top surface there. So I'm just going to use a little bit of light grit sandpaper. My thought here is that if there's even a slight amount of extra plastic, it's going to show up on the vinyl. So I just want to give this a brief sanding just to kind of smooth everything out. I'm going 2 different directions here. I rotated 90 degrees, get this nice and smooth. Wipe some of the dust off here with a microfiber. We're gonna be good. So to test this out, I wanna use this black vinyl here. This is a pretty standard upholstery vinyl, and this is something that I frequently use when building custom subwoofer enclosures and other custom projects. And the reason I want to try this in particular is 1, because I use it so frequently, but 2, because it's so dark. Usually it's harder to see shadows on darker vinyl. So if I can make this look good, it kind of identifies that I can also make it look good on lighter colored vinyl as well. So I've cut myself a small sample piece here. And the other key ingredient that I think we're going to need in order to be able to use our punch here is a piece of acrylic. Now, acrylic is another material that we obviously frequently use in custom car audio. We oftentimes use this for custom speaker rings or for viewing windows, those sort of things. This is a piece of black acrylic, and you can see it's circular. That's because this is a scrap piece out of the inside of a speaker ring. As you can imagine, I have about 1 million of these scrap pieces that I've held onto over the years. Obviously, I could maybe recut this for something smaller like a tweeter ring, but I want to see if it will work as sort of a backing piece between the vinyl and our stamp here, being as acrylic is very rigid and quite strong. All right, so our first experiment and test here, I'm just going to use a common C-clamp. This allows me to exert quite a bit of force. So I can just twist this, obviously. So I've got my sandwich here, I've got the logo facing downwards, and I'm gonna do my best to center the pressure of this sandwich here. As I'm thinking about this, if I only have the pad touching the center of our stamp, it's probably only going to apply force in that general area. So I'm going to grab a second scrap in order to complete our sandwich here. And I still wanna do my best to have the pad centered over our stamp. That looks good. And I am just going to crank this down as hard as I possibly can. So there we go, there's our test piece. I think I'm gonna allow this to sit for like 10 minutes or so, and we'll see how it looks. All right, so about 10 minutes have gone by. I will say when I've seen people do the stamping of the leather, it's pretty much an instant process where it will leave a mark. So I'm curious if this will actually work. After all, this upholstery vinyl is more of a synthetic material. It doesn't necessarily have fibers in it or anything that can kind of break down and take shape. Loosen this up here. And let's see what we've got. All right, we've got a little bit of a mark there. Check that out. So taking a close look here, while this did leave a mark, I'm not super convinced that it's going to stay over time. It just doesn't seem, even if you look at like the side profile as I roll it there, it doesn't seem like it really pressed enough into the vinyl. And this is about a minute after opening up that mold. I feel like it's already starting to fade. What do you guys think? I don't know if that's gonna quite work. We might have to attack this a different way. Yeah, look at this, guys. It's been about 10 minutes now, and look at this. You can really just barely kind of see it. Not really the effect that I was hoping for. I feel like I was able to exert quite a bit of force with the C-clamp here, but I'm thinking that in order for this to actually work, we might need a bit more. Bust out the big guns. We are going to try out the 12-ton shop press. So this just has a hydraulic bottle jack in the middle. You can see it goes down there. And you can use this to press out bearings and that kind of thing, but we frequently use this in the car audio world in order to make molded metal mesh. Molded metal mesh comes in handy for adding a design aesthetic in front of amplifier racks, or more commonly in front of subwoofers as sort of a subwoofer grill, or in front of speakers on custom door panels, that kind of thing. It's a technique that I've shown here on the channel before, if you guys want to go over and check out that video to learn all about it. But one thing's for sure, if this is strong enough to mold that metal mesh, then I would think it would be strong enough to leave a little bit more of a lasting impression in our upholstery vinyl. So I'm still going to use the same sandwich as what we did before, but this time we're going to use these pieces of metal that came with the press. This allows us, of course, to get good even pressure. I'm going to use the other side of my sample here. Going to center that up, put this piece of acrylic on, and then finally add this piece of metal on top of the sandwich. Make sure the valve here is tight. And now we can start pumping this down. All right. I know when I do the molded mesh, this is kind of a feel thing, so I am looking from the side here to get a kind of a feeling of how hard it's pressing in. I do want to force this quite a bit and have that full 12 tons pushing down. Ugh, I think we're good. I don't know if you can tell, but looking in from the side here, I wasn't quite centered, so I'm going to release this really quick and move it back slightly. Try to release this slow so it doesn't go all the way back up. I also don't want to mess up where it is on my vinyl. Hopefully it stayed in the same spot. Let's crank this down again. With the sheer amount of force that we're applying right now, I don't know that we need to leave this all that long like I did in that initial trial. Of course, when we're experimenting, we could try out different lengths of time, but I'm curious if just the pressing action alone is enough to leave a mark without letting this sit overnight or anything like that. So let's open this up and take a look. Well, I'm sure you guys could see that, and I think that's a good sign. It pressed so hard on the sandwich, it literally left an impression in the protective paper of our bottom piece of acrylic. So the moment of truth here, let's see what it looks like now. Yeah, that's definitely a little bit different than what we had before. Check that out, my friends. That actually looks really, really cool. Imagine using the branding of your shop or, a vehicle logo, that kind of thing. Imagine adding that to a custom subwoofer enclosure or to an amplifier rack, anywhere in your custom build. I think that's a pretty cool design aesthetic. Now, obviously this logo could warp based on stretching the vinyl, so obviously you would want to incorporate this in an area that is relatively flat. I don't know about you, I think that looks pretty good. Now the test though is, will this last? So I think I'm gonna take this outside and leave it in the sun for a few days and see how it reacts. Now I do want to point out something I noticed about our actual stamp here is we applied so much pressure, you can see it kind of smushed it, kind of like an elephant foot style almost. So another experiment I might want to try is, rather than printing this out of PLA, I might want to use a stronger material, maybe a carbon fiber infused type material, or maybe ABS or ASA. There's obviously lots of different materials out there to print with. I wanted to try PLA first because obviously it's cheap and very easy to print with and very accessible. Most people have this as their initial material that they're using. But what's interesting is, if you look at the logo here, it didn't really translate that kind of waviness. I think that the lines actually look pretty nice and detailed, especially if you look at that little tip on the bottom of the F there. Another option is maybe you look at this as just a one-time use. In this case, this only took me about 15 minutes to print. Now, another sample that I do want to try, and my thought process here is that when they make this material, I'm sure they heat it in order to add that grain, and the grain stays there because once this cools down, it's going to hold that shape. So I'm wondering if I can carefully heat this up with a heat gun from the backside so that I don't lose the grain, and then just quickly do a sandwich process on it. I wonder if that will make it more likely to last longer and stay imprinted on there. All right, so when I do this one, I want to make sure that I move nice and fast. And in this case, I have the heat on a medium setting. I want to get this pretty warm. Should almost be a little bit hot to the touch. And again, I'm applying the heat to the back side here, as I don't want to disturb the vinyl grain on the front. All right, let's move quickly here. Apply the vinyl, our logo on, add our backer number 2, and let's sandwich this down. A bit of a vinyl wrapping trick is that you can shock vinyl into place when you're wrapping a complicated part by using a rag that has cold water applied. So I'm going to quickly take this off here, apply some cold water to cool it down. So this is our heated and shocked version. Now I do want to point out that there's definitely a loss of definition. The edges are more curvy, and that's because of what I was mentioning earlier, how this deformed a little bit. So ideally, we usually want to just test one variable at a time. But in this case, I know that I can get good definition out of an initial part. I could print this with a different material that's stronger. Mostly here, what I'm looking at is I want to analyze the longevity as we let these sit out in the sun for an extended amount of time. So I've made some notes here as we test this on the backside. So we have our initial clamp version, which you basically can't even see anymore. That's the clamp there. We have the no heat version, and then we have the one that we just did, our heat shock version. So I've put those outside in the sun. So next I want to evaluate, just how crazy and detailed can we get with one of these stamps. Obviously our initial stamp was pretty simple, just the logo with that ring around the outside. What if we do something crazy like this? This has a ring, it has all of these line embellishments. There is a small gap between the ring and the edges of the lines. I'm curious if that will show up in the press. That gap is only about a 1/16 of an inch. I also have a gap around the logo, also about a 1/16 of an inch. And overall, this stamp is obviously a little bit bigger. Obviously, there's going to be a kind of size limit here. Maybe you could make a nice long stamp and then just do multiple different presses. That's something that we commonly do when we form the metal mesh. But I want to try out something like this. So let's try this out as well. As of right now, we don't know the results of our heat test. So I'm thinking that it's going to be better. It's definitely not going to hurt anything. We didn't lose any of the grain definition when we did that heating process before, so certainly not going to hurt anything. Let's try it out with heating and the larger press. Real quick before we do that, I'm going to sand this down again. On this one, we need to swap out some slightly larger scrap pieces of acrylic, but let's give this another go. Check that out, my friends. You can certainly add a ton of detail with doing this. The sky's really the limit of what you could potentially design with using 3D printing. You can see that this transferred tons of detail, and I will say, although I didn't show it on camera, I pressed in multiple different locations. I kind of moved it around before separating to ensure that we definitely got a good press all the way across this. Now to once again, just let this sit out in the sun and see if it's going to last. So after about 4 days in the blazing sun, let's take a look at our results here. Now remember, this was that initial stamp that we just did with the C-clamp. As you can tell, that virtually did nothing, but check it out, guys. I'm excited to say that I think this technique is going to work. Now, of course, your results may vary. This could change based off the exact vinyl type that you're using, but in this case, I think that this is going to last the life of the vinyl. And remember, this is our example where we didn't even heat up the vinyl. Here's our example where we did heat the vinyl. Really no change, just the sheer force is going to be enough to leave this mark. Do also recall that on this test where we heated it up, we used the stamp that we had already used in the press that kind of deformed it. You're definitely going to want to use either a stronger 3D printing material, or you're going to want to make these a one-time use. Finally, here's the piece that we did a much more detailed stamping on. Again, I really think that you can go pretty crazy here with the amount of detail. Remember that that gap between that edge there and where this kind of diagonal piece is only a 1/16 of an inch, and you can still see that gap in the detail on this piece of vinyl. Overall, going through this process of trying different variables to get to our end goal is a valuable process to understand when it comes to developing new techniques for custom car audio. I want to hear from you guys though. Is this a technique that you see yourselves using on a future project? And let's help each other as a community. Do you have any input on what might make this technique even better? Don't forget, next time you're looking for power wire and power distribution accessories and different signal wiring for a car audio project, to check out our show sponsor, New Concepts. You can learn more about them at the links down in the video description. A big thanks to them and to you guys for making these videos possible. Thank you guys for tuning in and watching.